Hello, everybody. It's your friend Sean here. We're going to read a little poetry. If you're anything like me, I assume you're in some form of self-isolation or quarantine as this COVID-19 bug sweeps across the world. I wish you well. I want to make sure that at this time, while it is fun and I've watched Tiger King twice through, we do take a little time to step back and nourish our soul in a little bit of a deeper way. So, with that in mind, what I've done is I looked through this book, Sonnets to Orpheus by Rainer Maria Rilke. I picked out a few that I thought were particularly relevant to the topic of, there's related topics of being in quarantine and dealing with the plague and waiting on spring. In Calgary, it's like -5 and snow is on the ground and it's gray, even though it's April 5th. I'm going to go skating soon as a special treat to get to use all the outdoor ice that we can. Silver linings. Silver linings are all around us if we're willing to look. So here, without further ado, I'm starting at the first part, Sonnet 18. Master, do you hear the new, rumbling and quaking? Harbingers arrive to proclaim its reign? Surely no hearing can be whole in this incessant clamor, yet every part of the machine demands praise. Behold the machine, how it rolls and wreaks vengeance, and drains and deforms us. Yet since it receives strength from us, let it, without vehemence, drive and serve. Now 19. Though the world change swiftly as the forms in clouds, all perfected things fall back to age-old ground. Over what changes and passes, wider and freer, your deep song still hovers, O God with the lyre. Pain has not been understood, love has not been learned, and what in death removes us remains undisclosed. Alone over the land, song hallows and heals. And 20. But what, Master, might I dedicate to you? Oh, tell me, you who taught the animals their ear, my memory of one spring day, toward evening, in Russia, a horse. Across from the village came the one white horse, a hobble trailing from its front fetlock, to pass the night alone in the meadows. How the shock of mane slapped his neck, in time with the sovereign gaiety, in that awkward, hampered gallop. How the sources of stallion blood leapt. He felt the distances, and oh, how he sang and heard your legend cycle, rounded to a close in him, his image, receive it. I think, where this first poem starts off, talking about this powerful machine, how it's draining, deforming us, yet how we are a part of it and how we empower it. What comes to mind when you think of that? Does that not remind you in some way of the virus, which we spread around with all our activities, zipping around the world, meeting, hugging, going to dinner with family, going to funerals, going to church? And viruses have an odd relationship with human beings, don't they? They need us to live, and they're parasitic and they live off us. And they can't kill too many, otherwise there won't be enough left. It's sort of a grim realization about the way that these viruses do work. And this, I mean, in some ways, I'm thinking, just as I roll this over in my head, behold the machine. It almost makes me think of our government machines in some ways, which are, yeah, they're on their way to roll over us and also protect us and defend us. And we feed them and they feed off of us. And like with a virus, sometimes that relationship gets out of control. And measures need to be taken. And sometimes the relationship is something that you barely notice, like with a seasonal cold you might have for 2 days. 19. Though the world change swiftly as the form in clouds, all perfected things fall back to age-old ground. Isn't that the truth? We thought that we had this thing licked, didn't we? We thought that technology would always save us and that we had said goodbye to the idea of a plague, to suffering in some way, and here we could think on these other issues that we've made for ourselves. The very words we speak. Was AI going to get out of control and ruin us? Global warming, any number of things we made. Now we're crashing back to the ground, aren't we? Sort of, if you've followed me at all, you'll know I talk about hubris often, the concept of hubris and nemesis. Well, there you have it. And I'm not joyous when I say that, but it is important to look at these things, to try and protect ourselves as best we can, as clearly as we can possibly see and as clearly as we can possibly think. When we operate under illusion, we leave ourselves vulnerable. So we got to take a step back and think on what we're doing and the way we're living our lives, and hopefully we can all get through this thing. It's going to be dark, it's going to be tough. But what, Master, might I dedicate to you? And he talks about his vision of the horse. I wanted to leave you on an uplifting note. He felt the distances, and oh, how he sang and heard your legend cycle, rounded to a close in him. His image, receive it. Receive that powerful image as we leave each other today. The image of a stallion, the unbounded steep, Russia, a meadow, that strength, that virile, ancient strength. Take it. We're going to need it. We're going to be free again. I hope. We are going to be free again. If we can make it. We got to make it. And then we'll be loose. And we'll be gone. Anyways, thank you for watching and listening. Drop me a line anytime. I'm happy to hear from you. And I hope that you're doing good through all this as the world economy grows to a halt and people get sick and die. I hope you're taking a little extra time to spend with your family and your loved ones, and that you're taking care of you. Because it can be kind of easy to forget to do that when there's a million other irons and fires that are burning up. Anyways, take care.